All right, Lena. Good day, everyone. You are welcome to this week's online facilitation on NSC 303 Concepts and Strategies of Public Health Community. And I want to believe that by God's grace, in the course of this semester, you will enjoy my facilitation with you. Then I want you to work hard. So today is our first meeting, and we'll go to the first unit of the course, which is unit. And before we dive deep into uh, the lesson for today, I want us to understand the learning objective for this unit. And as you can see on the screen, I have four learning goals that is expected of learners to uh, be able to defend, or to be able to say at the end of this week's facilitation. One is introduction on health for all and the concepts of health. The second learning objective or learning goal for you is to be able to define health, and the third one will be what are the dimensions and determinants of health. That is, at the end of this week facilitation, learners should be able to state and enumerate dimensions and determinants of health. Of course, we have uh, dimensions to health and what also determines what health is. And lastly, we have the prerequisite of health. I want to assume that learners have already studied the concept of health, maybe in your year two or your year three, no, in your year one and two. So, and for this to build on what you already know, we shall now review and build on what you already know in order to help learners gain a deeper understanding of health. And this will enable you to develop knowledge and skill in promoting the health of the people as well as serving the community. And health, as we all know, is considered a fundamental human right and a worldwide social health concept. Every individual, and in fact all communities, have their own concept of health, which has some relationship with their culture. The oldest concept of health is absence of disease. Of course, we all know that when people are not admitted or they are not lying down on bed, not doing anything, they believe that, oh, no, they are in good health. But you and I know that is not most of the time the case. Even now, maintenance of health is neglected except in conditions of ill health. It is only during the past few decades that health became conceived as a fundamental human right. It is essential to the satisfaction of basic human needs and an improved quality of life. So, it is to be attained by all people. What do I mean? Health is to be attained by all people. And the perception of health varies among the members of community. What are the changing concepts or definitions that we have? Of course, we have some concepts and changes in this concept that has been evolving. We have health as involved as a concept from an individual consigned to a worldwide social. And these are the biomedical concepts. So when I want to itemize all these concepts. So we have basically four concepts of definition of health. of health, I mean. We have the biomedical concept, we have the ecological concept, we have the psychosocial concept, and lastly, we have the holistic concept, which we are going to unpack in the course of this unit, each of these concepts. But don't forget, in case it comes out anywhere, that we have basically four uh, changing concepts about health, which is biomedical concept, ecological concept, psychosocial concept, and holistic concepts. Those are the four concepts of health. What is health itself? Health is defined as the conditions of being sound in body, mind, or spirit, and especially when you are free from physical disease or pain. Well, WHO, which is World Health Organization, define health as a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being, and not merely an absence of disease or infirmity. That is WHO definition of health. So let's move to the dynamics of health. We have dynamics of health. The concept of health dynamics visualize health as a dynamic phenomenon or a dynamic issue, and as a process of continuous changing. That is, our health continues to change. So, and as it changes, it varies within a continuum that ranges from optimal well-being, you know, to various levels of dysfunction, which include a state of total dysfunction, namely, you have death. And I have this diagram to illustrate what I'm actually explaining. You have on my left, on my right hand side here, where you have well-being, positive health, better health, freedom from sickness. Then you also have unrecognized sickness, mild illness, severe illness, death, and you have dysfunction. So you have from an individual can move from well-being, which is on this column as here, and from well-being the person can move to dysfunction, and from there an individual can even move from dysfunction to well-being to positive health, better health, freedom from disease. So it can either be clockwise or anti-clockwise that an individual can move to. And on this continuum, you have the optimal well-being. So when you are on optimal well-being, this is the way the graph is. That is, you are functioning of the functioning of an individual is is maximal, is maximal. So what are the dimensions of health? As I earlier mentioned, the dimension of health. What we first mentioned is the changing concept, where we mentioned the biomedical, the psychosocial, the holistic, and the ecological. Now, the dimension of health. We have basically four dimensions to health, as according to WHO definition, and they are physical, mental, and social. That is, the above definition that I earlier mentioned to you actually point out these dimensions. And the advance in knowledge, the advance in knowledge has made us to think of more dimension, which could be spiritual, emotional, vocational, and political. When we say political, emotional, or vocation, what do we mean by that? You see, people can actually get sick when maybe they lose their loved ones. Yeah, some break down so badly they can't undo it. They get admitted into the hospital. I remember during my undergraduate that when we wrote our professional exam, which is nursing council, which I know because I'm dealing with nursing students now, some of our colleagues, on hearing that they fail their pre-council exam, not even the council exam, some fainted that they had to admit them to the hospital. Such a person, would you say the person is in good health again? No, the person health is challenged, the emotion is affected. Some, when they are not able to do their normal spiritual routine, they became down. Some get worse, that they even get depressed, they have to be admitted. Some, their vocation, in the sense that when they are not doing the work that they are supposed to do, if they don't get a job, they get sick. And for the political, some, if they didn't manage to actually get the post that they are running for, they get affected health-wise. So all this dimension has now been added to health. So it's not only when you are physically challenged that when you say you are not in good health. So basically, we have four dimensions to health: the physical, the mental, the social, and the determinants of health. The health of an individual is affected by factors within the individual and within the society in which he or she lives. That's to tell you that a lot of things can affect our health. The society you live can either be positive to your health, can contribute positively to your health, or negatively. And so even within you, there are people that, oh, they think within themselves, oh, I'm not progressing the way I should progress. And because of that, they get depressed and they land themselves in the hospital. Some, even if they don't go to the hospital, you see them, they are not able to function optimally. So such a person, we can say, is in health. And so we have these factors that uh, may be health promoting or deteriorating to your health. One, we have hereditary, environment, lifestyle, socio-economic conditions, health and family welfare. We understand the importance of all this. There are some that in their homes or in their families, certain ailment runs in their family. So the person already, it will be or maybe, let me say, because it's not everybody that has diabetes in the family, that their parent has diabetes, that automatically, if the person actually do what he should do, and he or she can actually prevent it. Environment is another big thing. The same way is lifestyle. You know, I have an adage that says that lifestyle is something that is very, very important. And the lifestyle you practice will determine whether you will pull the trigger in your body or not. So when the lifestyle is good, then the trigger in your system is not pulled. So you're not going to come down with uh, disease, or your health will be then be maintained. Socio-economic, we know the economic. If one some, if they don't have money, if they are not living in the kind of house that they want to live, then you see them, they become sick. And family, the welfare of your family is also a health. Prerequisite of health. What factors affect the health of an individual and the community as a whole? Having assimilated all these ideas, you are now in a better position to identify some of the prerequisites of health. And this could be identified as at three levels. That is, one, at the level of individual, at the level of the environment, and at the level of the society. So you have your individual can contribute to your health, the way you handle your issues or the way you handle issues around you. Your environment, what happens in your environment can also influence your health, and the society at large. All this prerequisite for health. In conclusion, in this unit, we have discussed the following: the concept of health, which traditionally means the absence of disease; the definition of health by WHO, which states that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. And we've also discussed the relative concept of health, that is, we cannot set international standard of health and the health of an individual, because the health of an individual varies from culture to culture and from country to country. We also explain the dimension of health. I've also explained the dimensions of health. And lastly, we've also learned about the determinants of health. So, at the end, we talk of the prerequisite of good health, which include healthy and hygienic practices, good environment condition, and social. Thank you for listening. God bless.